Today, we're turning this into this. Hello, welcome back to Smoking Retros. My name's Mouse. Today, we're coming to the front. That's not with me today, and I don't trust my measurements to do the rear myself. So we're going to crack on with the front. We've got to adjust it so it can accept the steering rack, because it's too close to the bulkhead, so we've got to move the steering rack bracket forward. And we're generally just going to tidy it out, paint it, get it all so it's ready for when we put the engine and make the engine stand, mount, brackets, whatever you want to call them. But first, we need to clean this workshop because it's an absolute state. So that's what we're doing first, after a cup of tea. That's better, a nice clean-ish area to work. So, we're all ready to start now. What we're going to do is we're going to drop the front subframe out, and we're going to mark out where I need to put a slot so I can get the lower wishbone bolt in. On the original subframe, it's actually slots and a hole cut out, so you can put your finger in and actually manoeuvre the bolt into place. Well, replacing that front part of that subframe means to remove that. So we're going to drop it out, flip it over and mark where we're going to drop 2 holes and then slit it out with the grinder. And then from that point on, then we'll put, make a plate that goes over the top of it and tap and dye either side so it's not getting water in there. We'll have to drill a hole in the side as well. So I'm going to finish my cup of tea and then we'll crack on with that. Right, so now it's out. So it wasn't actually held there by anything, I'm not too sure, it was suspended. So the plan is, we're going to flip her over, we're going to drill and cut them slots out so I've got someone to actually put the bolts in, and then we're going to cut out the gusset or whatever you want to call it that I said I was going to do the last time we were on the front subframe but never got round to. We're going to cut that out, and we're actually going to make like a nice sort of, basically cut out an insert where I can just put a piece of plate over the top of it and then basically strengthen it on the back. Also, once we've done that and I can put the hubs on, we're going to put the hubs on and we're going to throw it back in the car so we can see how much room I need to make for the steering rack. I measured it the other day and it's about 30mm I need to come towards the front of the car to actually get the MGF subframe in it. So we'll crack on with that, and next time we come back it should look either got more holes or look prettier. We'll see. So before anyone thinks that I've lost my mind being in a really big workshop by myself, I've not yet, it's getting there. I've just gone to line up the bolts and basically learn where I need to cut a slot, and I've just looked down the one because it's slightly offset. I can't get a bolt onto it because obviously it doesn't sit level. So what I've done is I've cut a gully out, basically it's a nice triangle-ish. I'm going to get a piece of plate now. I'm thinking I might just use a bit of 2mm plate because it's got enough strength around it, and cut a piece out. I'll go around that, and Bob's your uncle. But we'll have to cut it out of cardboard first because I'm not trusting myself with that. So we'll be back here in a minute. So before anyone says I never, ever said I was precise. Fits. Perfect. Not perfect, but it fits. So we'll tack it in now. But there's no point welding. We've got bit more welding to do on this, so I'll just tack it in place now. We'll make sure once we've drilled the 2 holes out on there and cut the slot out, we'll make sure the bolt goes in before we properly tack it down. But apart from that, I'm quite happy with that. So, keep cracking with that. So what you just seen me do there is I just got some slots out. I used the step drill, which because I thought it might be just a little bit easier. Apparently my cordless or the big pistol drill didn't agree with it, so based on now, and it's always thick, thin steel that I've got to drill through, so it should be alright. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to make some plates, but first I've got to angle the tops of where the old mount points were. So basically they like that at the minute, and I'm going to cut them so they set on an angle. So one, it plates itself off, and there's a bit of strength, and then there'll be a plate on the front and a plate on the bottom. So we'll go ahead now. I'm going to measure out. I've got a nice piece of flat stock, so we'll do the angled ones first, and then we'll make the plates for the other ones, and then we'll make a plate whilst we're at it to cover the holes we've just cut out. No, we might not actually do. I'll see if I can find a rubber bung. It might be actually better, because then I can remove it a bit easier. And it won't rust in place. So, let's get making some plates. As you can see, that actually went better than planned. I hope you enjoyed the fireworks that got shot at you, but needs must maybe. So we've just got to make a little plate for the end of it, which is nice and easy. Whilst we're at it, we're going to cut the thicker stock I've got to make an end cap on the front and on the bottom. So we're going to measure that out and cut it out now. So it means the really big saw. So that's all them little plates made. They all should fit in there quite nicely. They might need a little trim or linish up, but they're just end caps at the end of the day. That's all they are, just end caps to stop any water going in and causing more rust that I don't need. So we're going to lift it up now. We're going to clean up all where I've got to weld, and then we're going to weld them all on, and then we'll throw the arms in, get all the hubs on and that. We'll lift it back up into the car and we'll sort out the steering rack. And we'll go. So what I've just done is I've cleaned up all the welds. I know I've got to put a little bit of, I'll put a bit of body filler or silicone in them just to smooth them out. They're all nice and strong, so I just cleaned them back a bit because they're a bit pried. But apart from that, they're looking all good. So now what the plan is I'm going to get a cup of tea. You lot can get a cup of tea if you want a cup of tea, that's up to you. I'm going to get a cup of tea, and then once we come back, we're going to assemble the arms, put the arms on, and then we're going to put it underneath with the steering rack attached, so I can figure out how much I'm going to cut out of that. That's the hubs back in their correct place. All the top arms and all the bushes have been replaced anyway, so they will come back out again, but I need to get them in to see how much of this gullet I can cut out and the steering rack. So I'm going to bolt the steering rack on now. We will mount it to the back actually and see how much room. So we'll get the steering rack on, all tightened up so it's all one unit again. And then we'll throw it back under the car, bolt it in, if we can. I have a suspicion the steering rack's going to catch the bolt head. So we'll see where we go. Both bit that down. I think I'm going to cut it all, bring it forward about 10-15 mil. It's not a great amount, but it's still enough so we can actually clear it in. So I'll be back once we've got it under the car. So, after swearing profusely at my siblings that aren't here, I finally found the steering rack bolts. I put them away. I moved them. Sorry siblings, but I moved them. So what we're going to do now is we're going to lift it up and bolt it into where it should sit on the back of the subframe. And we'll slide her under, lift her up, drop it down, cut a big hole in it, and weld some more in. Sounds like a plan. I'm up for that. Let's do it. As you can see, by myself this is quite difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm turn the camera off until I've got it on, and I'll bring you back when we're in. Sorry about that. So after using every piece of lifting equipment in the workshop, I finally got the subframe in, and guess what? We don't have to move anything. We may have to reroute cables a different way, which we knew we was going to do anyway. We're using different fuel lines, so we're going to have to move them. But it actually fits. I'm just loosening the steering rack off just to twist it, because it sits, sort of just sits at a funny angle at the minute. But it was just a guess where I put it really. Maybe I can't. I might have to take some out of where the steering wheel, like the column actually sits, because it's just sitting a little bit proud. I thought I could. We'll figure something out. You're back now, so we'll carry on trying to get this in, and once we're in, we'll take it back out again to clean it and paint it, hopefully today. Let's get cracking. So, as you can see, it fits. I don't think I have to adjust anything on the steering column. Let's just have a look. May have to adjust the steering rack bracket. It's sort of like sits flat against the subframe. So I might have to round the edges off or make another bracket or something just so it can turn. But turn that down a bit and I'm happy with that. I was actually expecting to have to cut all that rear out and all that shit. So I'm very happy with that. It fits, it's in. I'm going to throw a wheel on now to see where we are roughly with height and distances and that. It's looking like it's pretty central, I'm hoping, so let's throw a wheel on and see where we are. So, in my opinion, that's a win. That looks better than I thought it would. That looks... Oh my god, I'm building a custom car. Set of nice 14 to 15 inch alloys on that. A bit of cheeky sticking out because I want a bit of cheeky tyre on the edge. I'm happy with that. Right then, get it back out now. So, it's all right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unsafely lift it onto some trestles. So I'm going to leave you to watch this because it's normally funny when I fail. Right, so we're going to pull the hubs off, and with the steering rack this time just does one unit hopefully. Just for the fact they're going to be in the way, I've got to use a wire wheel to try and clean everything up. I'm going to not paint the top straps. I'll try and find my masking tape somewhere. Basically put a piece of card over them because I don't know what's happening with them. I don't know if we're going to take them out. I don't know if we're going to modify them yet, so there's no point doing that. I'm not going to modify the back, so I'm super happy with that. So let's get cracking pulling everything off. So that's the brakes and steering rack off all in one thing. I know I can modify the steering rack bracket now, so that's all good. Yeah, I was probably a bit rougher than I should have been there, but I'm replacing all the bushes and track rod ends and all that, so it doesn't really matter. It's just trying to get that subframe to fit with that car without cutting too much out of it. Well, I'm actually pleasantly surprised it does. It's going to need a bit of jimmying, but when there's two of us here, it should be a bit better. So I'm going to wire wheel it down now. It's not a fun job. It's not a pleasant job. It's not quite a system of jobs, but I've got various wire wheels to try. I'm probably just going to go with the side one because it'll go a bit better and I'll be able to get it into small spaces. So I'm going to throw it on the grinder and then I'll be back. Give that a couple of minutes to dry. It's not perfect, but like I said, it's just to protect it whilst I do work on the rest, come back to it. I've got to pull all the bushes off, so when all the bushes are off, I think I'll probably go and get it properly shot blasted. But just for now, so whilst it's sitting there, whilst we're doing the rear and getting all the suspension done, it's just covered and protected a bit. You'll notice I've not done this, like where the hydroelastic suspension sits, because I'm not sure how much of that I've got to remove. I did around it and they are full of grease, so they'll more likely be pulled off or cleaned or something, I'm not sure yet. So we're just going to wait for that to dry, which doesn't take long, it's a quick drying primer. Lie it back down, just do the back face. Just so it's all had a nice coat, and come back to you. So, as you can see, primer's nice and dry now, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut these gullies out that are currently in my way. And basically tub them out a bit so we've got a bit more room for, say, drive shafts and things. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. It's still got quite a lot of steel holding it in, so we're going to get the cut off wheel. We're going to start on the inside and cut these basically strengthening plates out. I've got a nice big thick piece of flat, so we'll remake them when we're ready to, but do it over here. We'll move it over there to where the welder is in a minute, but we'll do some cutting over here, I think. So as you just seen me do there, I've cut some gullies for the drive shafts. The M32 ones are bigger than the standard Rover ones, so that should give it enough room. We'll throw some plate in there next week. I'll try and round it out so it's not just a box cut out really. But I'm going to put some thicker steel on the bottom just to hold it apart, and then just use thinner for the outsides. So we'll crack on with that and the rear subframe next week. So thank you very much for watching. I'm super glad you're all joining me on this journey that we're going on. I'm getting closer and closer to actually being able to take this thing down the road and scare myself silly. So engine parts are being ordered, suspension is hopefully on its way. We're getting there. We are actually getting there. I've got plenty of steel to make the X-frame on the back, and I'm going to order some more so I can get the floor done as well. So thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying the videos. Thank you very much, and goodbye.